This just in, the latest report stating that James Harden is torn between his old home and new home. We will break down the latest here on Philly Take with RB.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into the show. Like always, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe and also ring that bell down below. That way you don't miss any of the coverage. We will continue to break it down all off season. Today we are back with a new, intriguing, developing report on the status, on the future, the decision of James Harden. Let me ask the people out there, what do you think is going to happen? If you were a betting man or woman, what do you think is going to happen? Will James Harden, A, go back to the Sixers, re-sign, try to go back and run it again with Joel Embiid and this team? Or will he go back to his old roots in Houston? Or will he go to another team, A, B, or C? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I get into what I believe will happen and what I think should happen, let's give a quick shout out to our partner of today's video, Mint Mobile. Shout out to the partner of today's video, Mint Mobile. If you out there are similar to everyone else in the world who has thought to themselves at one point, why is my wireless bill so high? Then Mint Mobile is for you. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 per month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network and keep costs low because they sell directly to you online, cutting out the retail stores and salespeople. Why should you pay more than you have to for access to the same network? You can go and use that money to treat yourself to a Sixers game or even buy a new jersey. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. They even offer super affordable family plans with as little as 2 lines. And switching to Mint is super easy thanks to their digital eSIM cards. You can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, Mint will actually ship you a new SIM card free of charge. The whole process will only take about 15 minutes. And if you get stuck, Mint has a great customer service team to help you through it. So if you are interested in reliable coverage and fast data for a fraction of the cost, go to mintmobile.com/PhillyTake. You can go right down to the description of this video and click the link, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. All right, man, let's get into it. So before we jump right into the report, I asked you, what do you believe is going to happen? Here's what Sixer fans responded with earlier today. Put this out on Twitter, 360 votes. 57.5% say yes, he will return to the Sixers, and 42.5% say no. However, when we take it over to the community page, we have 3,000 plus votes, and 36% say yes, he will return, and 64% say no, he will not return. Very interesting, conflicting here, and that's kind of where it's at. It's up in the air, right? A couple weeks ago, you're hearing all these reports, you think, all right, he's going back to Houston, and then it almost sounds like a little bit of a change of heart. Maybe it is a play in terms of his agent trying to get more money. Maybe it's a business thing, and they're trying to attract as much money as they can get, because obviously the Houston Rockets have a lot to pay, and they're in the market for a guy like that. So I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. I do want to say this first and foremost. I think James Harden is a competitor. I know he gets a huge rep for not coming up in the playoffs and performing and this and that. I will say I enjoyed James being on this team this year and half of last year. I enjoy, listening to him. I think he's very smart as a player, as a person, and I liked what he has done, right? James Harden did a lot of good for this team. And when you look at his situation and you look at the outlook of the league right now, maybe you can argue, I'd probably say the best situation possible is for James Harden to return. I think people misconstrue what I'm saying sometimes. I think right now, when you look at the outlook, right, there's not a lot of big free agents out there. There's not a lot you can do. If you want to contend, yes, James Harden coming back is key. However, the one thing you have to throw in there, you can't do it for a max contract, right? That's where it's at. And I know James is a competitor. He's been a good teammate. He said the right things this year. He's worked on his body, on himself. But the fact of the matter is, come playoff time, he's been banged up. He was injured near the end of the year. Yes, he had 2 great games in the Celtics series, but he also had a couple, one of which I saw with my own eyes, that really destroyed this team. And it's just very inconsistent. So you don't know, right? But you'll have to hope and bank on Maxey taking a leap. You have to see what happens with Tobias. Obviously, Joel Embiid is the first time we're saying, right? Like, he really, really needs to look at himself in the mirror right now and come up big and be able to adapt his game. And hopefully Nick Nurse can get these things flowing. But, you know, really what happens with James Harden is going to decide everything. And I think that, you know, you're in a tough spot because you can't overpay. This is the first time that Daryl Morey needs to separate his friendship. I know he loves James from the business side and sit him down and say, yo, here's where we're at, right? You cannot, go above this number. You have to come down. And if not, then we're going to have to walk away or do a sign and trade or something like that. But here was the report that came out from Shams earlier today. Again, we've heard a lot of back and forth, so kind of hard to know what to believe at this point, but I do believe there is some truth to this. Shams says, quote, I really think that he is torn with the prospect of staying in Philly or moving on to Houston potentially. Yeah, maybe there is positives on both sides. So you want to stay with Philly and try to achieve your goal that has been set out, right? He said, I've done everything in this game. I'm a top 75 player. The last thing I want to do is win a championship. Or does he go back to his old roots in Houston where he was an icon, a superstar, and could put up 50 a game, and he goes and leads the charge with a bunch of young guys, and he gets to go to his favorite clubs on Thursday, Friday, Saturday with Travis and Lil Baby, and he gets to get paid a whole ton, and he just gets to be near family and enjoy himself. I think there's a legit, argument for either one, but I'm still going to lean towards the side that James Harden is not finished. He wants to win a championship. He's getting up there in age, and essentially going back to Houston would mean a rebuild for the most part. I mean, again, they could be competitive, but they're not winning the championship. I just don't think he's ready to throw that away yet. And I think him and Joel Embiid definitely have gotten along well. I think they've been a good duo, a good pairing. But James needs to decide because, I just have a feeling that when he goes in to have those negotiations, or his agent does, and James, and, he looks at Daryl Morey, he's going to say, well, I took a pay cut last year. I helped get PJ Tucker here. I helped get Daniel House. Now I'm 33 going on 34. I'm not ready to take another, 2-year deal. I mean, he still hasn't even made a, decision technically with the player option, but we're sitting here assuming that he's probably going to decline that, right? And try to get a longer deal. What if he took the 1 year, right? Opted in and said, all right, I'm going to go bank on myself next year. If it doesn't work out one more time with Nick Nurse, with Joel, with Maxey, then I can bounce, I don't think he'll do that. I think he wants a 4-year contract, especially given the injury, because if he gets hurt again, then he's not really getting anything. I don't know, man. There's definitely a back and forth here with this. I think the Sixers are in a tough spot. Again, if you give this guy a 3-year, 4-year max, like I'm on board with bringing him back, but maybe with another 2-year deal with a player option. If you bring him back for 4 years, 35, 40, whatever per year, give him a max contract, you are essentially crippling the future of this franchise. And right now you're trying to move Tobias, hopefully. Then if James can leave the following summer, then you could clear up a lot of cap space and really surround Embiid and Maxey with the right fits. That's what you have to do. Even if you bring James back, you have to bring the right fits in around. We talked about that a lot. Guys who can, maybe not have the ball in their hands as much and just be those value-added players. And we have Nick Nurse, who in his opening presser said, yeah, James has a decision to make, and I'd be happy if James comes back. Now, a lot of people thought that Nick Nurse was lying about this and that he just said it to say it because Howard Eskin was pressing him. I don't know. But do I think Nick Nurse came here with a vision and wants to win this upcoming year? Yes. And if the Sixers do not want to take a gap year, then, they're going to have to find a way to try to bring James back, but also make the roster better via trade with Tobias, et cetera, playing more young guys, and hope that they can step up. Really, I don't know. I do think James is going back and forth. I don't think we're going to find out for a little while, but we'll see once he accepts or declines the player option. Now, in this article from Jake Fisher today of Yahoo Sports, he put out a huge trade piece. He mentioned the Sixers a little bit here, and I think it's interesting because he usually is on point with the behind-the-scenes type of stuff. He says Houston is projected to hold the largest amount of cap space in the NBA, over $60 million in wiggle room, with expectations to spend and improve. No agent could manufacture a better landing spot than Houston, either for a client's payday or as potential leverage over other teams hoping to obtain the client's services. Rockets are prioritizing adding a proven table-setting point guard. So, I mean, you know who they're looking for. You know who they're looking at. And it's funny. It says if Harden sticks with the Sixers, Raptors point guard Fred VanVleet has been linked to Houston. See how all this ties in together, man? Very, very interesting how all of this could play out. But those are all my thoughts. That's where I'm at. I think James Harden should stay with the Sixers because he wants to contend. He wants to add that last thing to a resume. And, you know, I know it did not look good. I really think these guys got to look in the mirror, but they have to stay healthy. I know it's a big if. If the Sixers want to contend and try to, if they can move Tobias and bring in a couple, you know, better value pieces, maybe you try to run it back if that is the best option. However, if it's time to go, then, well, the Sixers are going to have to make some tough decisions. I think this is the better spot for James Harden right now. You know, based on what he said, based on his priorities. Now, if those have changed, maybe not. Ultimately, I really don't know what is going to happen. But give me your thoughts. Give me your prediction down below in the comment section. Do you think James Harden is going to stay in Philly, or will he take his talents elsewhere? Give me all your thoughts down below. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.